Is not having contaminated water an injury?
The existence of contaminated water is not a physical injury. When we're talking about tort claims, which is what this is, personal injury claims,
Yeah.
those are a physical injury to a person.
All right, other questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you very much, sir. I don't think I have any other pink cards on House Bill 1089. Is there anyone else who wishes to testify on House Bill 1089? Yes, would you come up, and you need to fill out one of the pink cards, please? Oh, yeah.
That was for the next bill.
That's for the next one.
Oh.
I just would like to say one brief thing based on his.
Sure, if you fill out a card, if you would, please.
Okay, sir,
The
can I
red,
do
the
it?
pink
Speak
cards,
first? Thank
pink cards, right on the edge of the table.
Yes,
there.
Mr. Lynn.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, you can start testifying and just fill it out when you're done.
Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you. Thank you all for hearing me speak. My name is Robert Tanguay. Just in reference to the gentleman's last testimony, he said that personal injury is physical. It's also per statute emotional. And I don't know the exact statute, but it is emotional damage too. And so that's kind of not looked at. And when you go around looking for a lawyer or a law firm, you'll see personal injury lawyers, and they typically only take the slam dunk physical, police abuse or a car accident, physical. But it is per statute emotional abuse. There's intentional infliction of emotional abuse, and there is also negligent infliction of emotional abuse. As regards to the bill, I don't know too much about the bill, but I understand that there are some timelines that should be met for the defense. But then there's also statutes which allow, upon discovery of elements of the tort, physical or emotional, that can extend those 3-year statute of limitations. And that's my testimony on this, unless there's any questions.
Great. Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
We now call Robert Tanguay, excuse me.
Thank you all. I really appreciate being here and what you guys are doing. First time speaking before the Honorable Bob Lynn. I do listen to him. Rep. Smith, thank you, and Ms. Kutab, and everybody else as well. So I'm opposed to this bill as it's inexpedient. It's not necessary. Article 8 of the New Hampshire Constitution already holds our government accountable, but what's actually happening on the streets or courtrooms, and to me, the courtroom is a church where you go to find justice, the truth, and be treated fairly. We're not having that, and I've gone to other courts, and it's really with the family courts. What we need to do is we need to repeal 173B. It's unconstitutional, Article 15 of the New Hampshire State Constitution, rights of the accused, where there's a criminal process. You are required, the state is required to provide a legal counsel to you and also prove beyond a reasonable doubt. And there's plenty of instances where this hasn't happened. And so I've already sent to all your attention the extreme conflicts of interest that are happening in New Hampshire courts. And I'll describe those in my personal capacity. The judicial referee wrote physically and mathematically impossible findings of fact. I gave a notice to the clerk, and she dismissed it and passed it to another judge and then another judge. And these are signed affidavits. And so what we've found in my research is that there's a rule called RSA 21G 25. It's a law. I apologize. And it goes from the Constitution to the laws. God gives us our constitutional rights or nature. And so this 21G, it says that the lobbyists or companies that employ lobbyists are not allowed to be on any commission. Yet we have a legal testimony in this room and also in the special committee. Anything that came from the Domestic Violence Coalition, Lyn Schollett, and 3 other registered lobbyists is a legal testimony, and it's been brought to the attention, and nobody's doing anything about it. They just ignore it. And this is because Lyn Schollett is on the Governor's Domestic Violence Commission and the Supreme Court Task Force, which has Supreme Court Justice Hans Marconi, who's a member of the Women's Bar Association. On November 8th of 2023, the Domestic Violence Coalition got $2.4 million signed by the governor. And yet she lobbies and then also heads that commission, which was at the Supreme Court. On November 17th, 2022, and I'll go through the things that happened. I was at the Supreme Court. Lyn Schollett was there running the meeting where they talked about wiretap laws. And they're really part of a nationwide organization, the National Domestic Violence Coalition. And then when you go from there, later that day, I come into Governor Sununu's office, and on there, so this is November 17th, there's a letter that was written to me saying, I've been talking to them for a year trying to expose this, but basically a letter they wrote to me, November 2nd. November 8th, $2.4 million is given to the coalition. November 17th, when I was there, on the desk in the governor's office was a email from Jennifer Smith defaming me, Robert Tanguay, saying basically I'm crazy, saying that I have to get a psychological examination, which is not true, and that I'm not allowed to see my children without supervised visits unless I get that psychological evaluation, which is not true. I'm a registered lobbyist. I'm here on my own behalf. Nobody has paid me to be here. I'm here to save my children. And so with that, those facts have been presented to people. It's very important that this is on the record and that anything that the Domestic Violence Coalition has touched during these periods of time from 2021, I believe, to November 17th, and they just canceled their meeting, all bills going forward are tainted. All funds going forward are tainted. And then just to bring up, so 173B, we have judges that are just breaking the law. It's what I call paper stuffing. They paper stuff you, for use of a better word that is inappropriate to the decorum of this room. They paper stuff you. They just throw lies at you. They write false narratives. They break the law. They provide no justification. And this is the level of my pleadings. They are very, very good. They are very well done, but they retaliate against pro se individuals. So this bill is inexpedient. We need to repeal 173B. We need to look at, before you go any bill, you need to read the Constitution. And then the bills that are repugnant to the Constitution shouldn't move forward. This enhances it. But where this bill was derived from is one that was made in 2001, which the Supreme Court made a rule. We need a commission internally for the balance of powers. We need to counterbalance. And then by having a commission, you can't have lobbyists or people who employ lobbyists on that commission. So that's what's happening. And it's really with Sununu's administration. It's very corrupt, and I've been having a lot of problems with it. I would appreciate any questions. I could talk for almost as long as Mr. Lyn, but I would appreciate any questions for clarification.
I'm not going to ask questions. I'm just going to ask if there were questions. I can't ask if there are questions. I thought I could.
If you don't have questions, I'll read Article 2 of the New Hampshire Constitution.
Representative Horgan, did you have a question?
Yes, this is just a slight factual thing. So we heard,
Yes, sir.
I heard several reference to somebody named Lyn Schollett, and is she related to Lori Schollett, who is the director of Health and Human Services?
Thank you for correcting me, sir.
Oh,
Ms. Schollett is the director of the Domestic Violence Coalition. I've supplied these in writing so to be as factual as possible. I'm 100% honest.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Any other questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you.
Thank you. I just want to draw special attention to Article 2, Natural Rights, Article 3, Society and its organization of purposes, and rights of conscious unalienable. I also want to bring attention to the classifications of crimes, RSA 625:9, where it describes that violence is a physical or severe bodily injury. Violence is not emotional or the threat of physical. So they have gerrymandered the family courts and they have gerrymandered our idea, which is by statute, of what violence is. Violence is not a disagreement. Violence is not a sad, hurt feelings or wishing that the husband made more money or the woman was in better shape or whatever it may be. Thank you so much, everybody.
We now call Dana Albrecht.
Robert Tanguay.
I still have some life in me. My name is Robert Tanguay. I spoke earlier. I think that I'm for this bill. This bill is already in law. When you read Article 2 of the New Hampshire Constitution, which is the supreme law, we have a right to our liberty to live and also to aid others. These are rights and our property. And you'll find that when a lot of people are opposed to this bill, you're going to see that the reason why they're opposed to it is because of technology. They make money off of it, keeping people alive, suffering. We have a choice in our life, in our children. God gave us these rights. Not the Constitution, not our humble servants, which I respect you all, gave us these rights to live our life and to end our lives if we need be. This bill right here is about specifically people who are going to die. There is also a choice with the doctors to not approve this. We all have free will. We all have free will to make any decision. A police officer can be ordered to arrest someone. They can choose not to. And so that's how that works. I also wanted to bring up, so Article 2 of the New Hampshire Constitution, and then also the dignity that this allows people to choose to go in their own way with dignity, with their family at a time that they choose to, at a time, not suffering, suffocating. Death can be very scary. I'd also like to bring up eugenics, and please let me know if I start to go over my time.
You're very close. You're about to go over.
Eugenics is the forced sterilization. It was passed into law in New Hampshire and 32 states. The last eugenics law, this is forced sterilization, was in 2014, was removed from the books.
All right.
The Constitution protects us from the government, from intruding upon our decisions as free citizens. That's why it's already in law, and I would appreciate if you guys would move this forward to codify a system that is clear for someone to take care of their own matters.
All right, thank you. Questions for this witness? Seeing none, thank you
you
very
so
much.
much.
I have no more pink cards. Is there anyone? Yes, sir. Did you fill out a pink card? Great. All right, come on up. If you just give the card to Representative Staples, I appreciate that.